Okay, now y'all sit down. We got a lot to talk about tonight. The first thing that I want to be sure that we talk about right off the get-go is just this. I was early getting here tonight. Pretty good stuff. Now, think about this. When we were honoring a great man, Bob Kiss, I've got to tell you this. This is full confession. Literally, I was at the mansion. The last time I had seen my speech, Kathy had it. And all of a sudden, I get over here, and nobody's got it. And if we hadn't honored Bob Kiss, you would have been sitting waiting on me a long time. And so, literally, it's an honor beyond belief to be with you. And there's so much good going on in this state right now. It's hard to get it all in. That's just all there is to it. Now, with all that being said, I've got to do this. I've got to say one thing. You know, Mr. Speaker and Mr. President, Baby Dog says she's really sorry she couldn't make it tonight. But she's going to get a tub of popcorn and watch it on TV. But thank y'all so much in every way. And absolutely, if I could just say this, it is an incredible day to be a West Virginian. You know, I'd like to always honor our First Lady. My daughter Jill's with her, and my son and and our daughter-in-law Jay and Catherine. Catherine had a little bit of a blood pressure issue today, and so they kind of bowed out. But nevertheless, thank y'all so much for all you do all the time. Now, I'm telling y'all, if y'all do all this clapping, don't blame it on me how long we're going to be here. I really appreciate that. And also, I've got to tell you just this, that Jill just had us another grandbaby, a beautiful little granddaughter, just not very long ago at all. Probably, 6 weeks? Okay. And her husband, Adam, who is our wonderful son-in-law, is now at home with 3 kids. Nevertheless, you know, a great family, and just I'm so blessed. That's all there is to it. Just blessed beyond belief. If I could go through my cabinet, and I'm going to go through quickly, and hold your applause, and then we'll catch it at the end. But we have a new cabinet secretary for DHHR, you know, Dr. Jeff Coben. A new Secretary of Commerce in James Bailey. Our Secretary of Administration is Mark Scott. Our Secretary of Homeland Security, Jeff Sandy. Our Secretary of Revenue, Dave Hardy. Our Secretary of Transportation, Jimmy Riston. Our Secretary of Veterans Assistance, Ted Diaz. Our Secretary of Economic Development, Mitch Carmichael. Our Secretary of the Arts, the Culture, and History of this great state, Randall Reed Smith. Our Secretary of Tourism, Chelsea Ruby, is not with us tonight because there's a good chance she's having a baby right as we speak. Now, but if not, it will be here very, very soon. And the other person that's not here with us tonight is Harold Ward, our Secretary of the DEP, and Harold is doing a phenomenal job. So, now you can give him a great round of applause. We have our wonderful, wonderful Supreme Court of Appeals. With us tonight is Chief Justice Beth Walker, Justice John Hutchinson, Justice Haley Byrne, Justice Tim Armstead, and Justice Bill Wooten. Thank you all so much. Now, our constitutional officers, Attorney General Patrick Morrissey, our State Auditor, J.B. McCuskey, our Secretary of State, Mac Warner, our Commissioner of Agriculture, Kent Leonhardt, our State Treasurer, Riley Moore, and our State Superintendent of Schools, Dave Roach. We have a beautiful young lady from our congressional delegation, and that is our great Senator Shelley Moore. Yeah, thank you. Okay, we have our Adjutant General of the West Virginia National Guard, Brigadier General Bill Crane, and I don't know where Bill is, but wherever he is, y'all got to cheer for him. That's all there is to it. And we have a Command Sergeant Major James Jones, and he's, I think, with our General. We have the Chancellor of our Higher Ed, and Sarah Tucker is with us tonight. We have our Commissioner of the Bureau of Senior Services, Robert Waswell. Let me get through these and everything. We have our Director of the Herbert Henderson Office of Minority Affairs, Jill Upson. And we have our West Virginia University President, Gordon Gee, our Marshall President, Brad Smith, and members of their staff. So now, clap for them. We have our COVID team. Now you just think about these people. These people literally never really took a dime hardly, didn't do anything but work, didn't have a playbook, didn't have anything to go by, and absolutely have guided us in every way imaginable. And a heck of a job they've done. Dr. Clay Marsh, General Hoyer, Dr. Amjad, now Dr. Christensen, and our Secretary Crouch and Dr. Cobins. Please give them a round of applause. Okay. It's the 7th time I've been here in front of you. I can't imagine that time can go that quickly. The first year, I jumped all around and put things on whiteboards and did everything, and I sweated like a dog the entire time. Absolutely, at that time, this state was in tough shape, and you all knew it and everything. We didn't really know where we were going or where to turn, and today is a bright day. Through that time, I would tell you just this. I won't be your governor a whole lot longer. But I surely won't go away. In fact, you'll probably either be able to find me at home or you may find me in Washington. But one of the two places I'll be. And I'll try to watch as best I can and help as best I can, no matter what I'm doing. In every single way, I will try to help continue to perpetuate this goodness that we've got going on right this minute. So, if I could just add just this. If I could give you my best wisdom today before we get into the nitty-gritty of everything else. My best wisdom of the day would be just this. Serve. Serve. Try as best you can to not want anything for yourself. Literally, this is an honor beyond all comprehension for every last one of you. Do what our forefathers did and did so admirably. They served. First and foremost, they served. Please don't put self in front of that. Always try to do what your voters and constituents are asking you to do. At the end of the day, we're here to do their work. We're here to do the people's wishes. Please remember that. And please try as best you can to not get in your own way. If there was ever a time in life right now, ever a time, When we could get in our own way, it's right now. Think about this. I tell people all the time, we've been in the ag business forever, and I have honestly probably harvested 1 million acres of corn myself. I probably have. Planted hundreds of thousands of acres. When did you always lose grain? It's when the harvest was plentiful. That's when you lost grain. When there was almost nothing there and it was a bad year, or drought or whatever, you never lost anything because you had to get every single grain. When things are wonderful, as they are right now, we've got to be careful and we've got to be prudent, or we'll throw a lot of grain on the ground and we'll never touch it. I want to tell you just this. You hear me say this all the time. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. But really what I'm really saying is just this. In my heart, I am dadgum proud that I'm a Republican. But with all that, because I truly believe in very, very conservative values, I watch what's going on the national scene right now with our president and what's going on in D.C., and for God's sakes, there can't be a rational human that thinks what's going on is right. There's no way. So from that, I couldn't be more proud to be a Republican, but I would just warn you and just tell you just this. In this great state, there's enough people on the outside wanting to throw rocks at us, and they have forever. They beat us down. They've made us feel like you should know your place. You're in a race with Mississippi all the time. Who's going to be dead last? And we're not that now. Now there's jealousy because now all of a sudden we're the diamond in the rough that they missed. Really, be proud of who you are. Be proud that you may be a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. But for God's sakes, to live and work together and try to help one another for the betterment of all in this great state. Now, we got lots to talk about, and I promise I will go as quickly as I possibly can go. There are so many exciting things. If we reflect back on the past just a second, and we're fair, we would say not many, many years ago, we didn't have anywhere to turn. Now, you can say what you want, but I'm a business guy, and I got that. And with all of that, I could even go back further and further and further. Imagine this, and I'm not casting rocks like I just said that I wouldn't do, but there was a time, believe it or not, that we cut a ribbon and celebrated a Taco Bell opening in downtown Charleston. Now think about what we're doing today. Think about the stuff that's going on today in this great state. How did all this goodness happen? I believe with all my soul, first and foremost, it happened because of God above. I believe that with all in me. There's no way that any of us could have been smart enough to have written all this down and figured all this out. And he wants us to work hard, and he wants us to do our job. But I believe he is guiding this incredible state every single step of the way. We had to change our image. We had to make simple moves on the board in education. I mean, who in the world came up with the idea of grading our schools A through F? Think about this marketing plan. We're going to put them on a bell curve. We're going to have some A's and we're going to have some F's. And in the middle, we're going to have a lot of C's. So here's what we can do. We can go out and tell the world, come to West Virginia. Most of our schools are C's. How's that going to work? We got rid of it. Literally, at the end of the day, we got a lot still to do in education, but we made a commitment to move it to the front and let it be our centerpiece. Everybody that comes, that wants to come to West Virginia says, how are your schools? How are your roads? It's just that simple all the time. We did a Roads to Prosperity program that created instant jobs. We rewarded and looked after and tried to appreciate our veterans. And then we let tourism explode right behind that. We diversified. And we absolutely got on our way. And then along came COVID. And the cannonball hit us right dead in the stomach. And we then could have done what has happened in the past and really what those on the outside would have expected us to do. Become 50th again. You maybe had a blip on the screen, but go be 50th again. And we didn't do it, did we? We dug in and showed exactly what our medal is all about. And lo and behold, here we go. Now, I would say with all in me, who would have thunk it? Who would have ever thunk it? That today in West Virginia you'd have surpluses that are so large it's unbelievable. You would have Fortune 500, Fortune 100, whatever companies that are coming to West Virginia over and over and over. The roads are getting repaired everywhere. We're working on the water and sewer projects as fast as we possibly can, and we are that diamond. Now, get this. In 2022 alone, just think about this. We had 29 companies invest $6.19 billion in West Virginia. Now, absolutely get this. They brought us 3,300 new jobs and preserved 3,100 jobs. You know, it gave us the opportunity to compete on a world stage. It is unbelievable the value of what we did in putting money aside in this impact development projects to bring more and more folks here. Now, I'm going to read a list of folks, and I want you to stand, please, and let's absolutely let this great body absolutely cheer and honor you. Tonight, I am creating a different, we have a distinguished West Virginia, but I don't know that we really have anything that is as honorable as a distinguished West Virginian for our businesses. So tonight, I am creating the Business Knights of West Virginia. And what I want to do is let these great folks, when I read their names, be our first inductees. Then I'll read you the name of a couple more folks that are coming to West Virginia, and then you know what I want to do? I want to go back, and every single business in this state that contributes and helps us in every way, I want them to everyone be one of the Business Knights of this state. We'll send them a certificate, they put it up on their wall, and then I'm going to ask of them one thing. And it's just as simple as this. I'm going to ask them to help all of us to absolutely perpetuate this great, great, great message of West Virginia. Absolutely, our new Business Knights. And tonight, our first inductees, and I'm going to go through, from Berkshire Hathaway, Alicia Knapp. And if she could stand, I'm going to read through all of them, and then we'll clap for you, Alicia, and all of y'all. From Precision Cast Parts, Steve Wright. From Hope Gas, Morgan O'Brien. From Form Energy, Mateo, and I'm going to mess this one up, Mateo. Okay, from Mountaintop Beverage, Jess Sokol. From Omnis, Richard Kingan. And from Velisink, and this is Brian Joseph. From Pure Watercraft, Dennis Frihohi. From Commercial Metals, and I don't have the name from Commercial Metals. And from Pampia Air, Metler, and there's not a representative from them. And from Klockner, and there's not enough representative from them. But if you could join me, just think when every single bit of this absolutely is done. Think what you have done. Think what you have created. Forevermore, you have created our grandchildren's jobs. That's what you have done. You have created the fact that over and over and over, Edith and Toby wanted to have a picnic, and they want their grandkids to be here. And they're in Charlotte or Denver or Atlanta. And now, they're going to be in West Virginia. So please, thank y'all so much. Thank you so much. Now, just in the last little while, 2 more have come. TLC, based in India, is a chemical plant within the Covestra plant that's in Marshall County. They're going to spend $150 million and create 50 jobs, making ingredients that are found in food. Their TLC chairman, another new knight of West Virginia, is with us right now. It's Mr. Sarti. And if you could please give him a great round of applause. CM12 is with us tonight. You know, and I don't know if it's CM12 or CM12, but CM12, tonight I'm proud to announce that the Civil Military Innovation Institute, CM12, based in Morgantown, has stood up as a one-of-a-kind military capability that is coming and operating and going to operate in Clay County. It is unflat believable that they're going to provide 50 jobs. CM12 has been awarded $100 million in a new contract from the defense people, and literally they are promising more and more and more to come. And boy, gosh, Zinovi Wochuk is with us tonight, and if you could stand, please. You know, there's been an awful lot. People never would have believed that West Virginia could have diversified. People never would have believed that, you know, really a coal guy would welcome with open arms, you know, alternative sources or alternative energies. I'm a real believer that West Virginia needs to welcome all. As an initiative, there's been many green components to this initiative, but I want you to remember just one thing, and I know you will, forevermore. Our coal, oil, and gas folks today are supplying to West Virginia in this year, or this year's past, $891 million of severance income to this great state. People get up every day and get their dinner bucket and go. People are in 7,000 feet underground in 32 inches of coal and can't sit up all day long. And they do it for their families, and they do it for this nation, they do it for this great state, and they do it for all of us. Never will I, and never should you, ever forget the great work that the coal miners have done, or the great work the grass workers do, or the oil workers in this great state. Never turn your back on the greatness of our natural resources. Thank you so much. We're going to kind of keep moving here, okay? In regard to our budget, we again are going to have a budget presented by me that is relatively flat. You see, I don't believe in using the rainy day fund to bail me out. I want to mind the store. Absolutely, I want to do what's right, absolutely from a business guy's standpoint. You know, we have funded projects out of surplus, one-time projects. We have not built base hardly at all. We have really looked after the store, and we expect, and we should, return on investment. With all that being said, absolutely, before I go further, I want to just say just this, that our retirees, gotten a lot of them. We haven't really necessarily forgotten them. But today, with inflation, with what it's at, imagine this. What I am proposing, two things. That for folks over 70 years of age that work for us for 25 years, that we have a minimum salary that they'll receive of $1,000. Now, really and truly, it's surely not much of nothing. And at the end of the day, I want to do a one-time bonus payment to them of $1,500. And I want you to work as hard as you can, knowing whatever you come up with, I'll be right with you. But many, many times we get running really, really fast, and we forget it. So please, honor and help that wisdom. Now, from the standpoint, I promised along the way, I promised, that I would send the bill up in regard to the elimination of your car tax. I've sent the bill. I've done exactly what I promised. But I would just tell you just this. And you got to listen to me on this one. There's lots and lots and lots of things we can do. But if we want, at this moment in time, to grow the state of West Virginia, we're going to have to aggressively look at our personal income tax. It is an opportunity right now like none of us could ever imagine. Just think, we have the opportunity to do something that is monumental right at this moment. Now, with all that being said, all you've got to do is look at the publications, no matter what they may be, and they'll all tell you the states that are on a pathway to getting rid of their personal income tax or really aggressively doing something, those states are winning the day. Now, you've got to know that. You have to know that. A lot of people will say, well, we don't have an ocean. But we don't fry eggs on the street in the summertime either. Literally, we have been blessed with the 4 greatest seasons on the planet. We have the very best people. We have the greatest location. We're within a rock's throw of 2/3 of the population of this country. We abound in natural resources like crazy. And all I would say to you, and I know I'm going to get in trouble saying this, is who in the world wants to move to South Dakota? I mean, literally just a few days ago when it got as cold as it was here, if you'd have been in South Dakota, you'd have been a South Dakota sickle. You would have. So at the end of the day, just think how we're positioned. We're positioned in the absolute sweetest spot that we could possibly be. Now, way up in the back, you've got our Senate President, President Blair, and you've got our Speaker of the House, Speaker Hanshaw. And I've listened to them. I really have. They have said over and over and over that what we need to do in regard to the PIT is do one of two things. Either don't do it or make a big splash. That's all there is to it. Don't do it or make a big splash. And so here comes me cannonballing into the pool. And by God, I'll make a big splash. I will promise you that. But tonight, I'm proposing our West Virginia tsunami that the world will hear in every single way. They'll hear it from every rooftop in every way. A tsunami that does nothing but benefit all, everyone. Tonight I am proposing the biggest tax cut in the history of this state. I am proposing a 50% reduction in our PIT across the board now. Now just think, as we do this, it will take us 3 years to pull it off. But absolutely it is an aggressive pathway that will absolutely put unbelievable monies right back into all of our pockets. With all that being said, just think of this. For God's sakes of living, just think. Think of just this. Right off the get-go. 30% the first year, 10% the next year, 10% the next year. And then we step back and just see. With all that being said, think of how much if I were to walk into you and say, I'm going to put $1 billion back into our economy tomorrow, and the people will spend it. What will be the multiplier effect of that? Will it be 6 times or 10 times? Tomorrow, you have become your own stimulus package with zero growth. Now, honest to Pete, absolutely. The word will ring all across the world, and people will come. People will really come. I have listened to the Senate. I have listened to the House. And absolutely now, I hope and pray that we'll move quickly to just show the people just how serious we are in West Virginia and the fact that they have pulled the rope with us forever and ever and ever. You just think of the decades when they were in that race with Mississippi. And literally those folks absolutely today are hurting at the grocery store or the gas pump or whatever it may be, and we need to step up and help our folks and literally get on a pathway of doing something that's unflat believable. Now, there's other business and there's other budget items that I need to talk to you about. Like I said, there's a bunch of this, and I'm going to go as quickly as I can, but it is great stuff. You know, our hospitals are the lifeblood of all of our communities, are they not? And literally, like it or not like it, but, you know, when they take a PEIA patient in and everything, a lot of times it becomes a burden rather than a plus. We need to help them out. And so tonight, you know, I am wanting us to put $40 million into an adjustment for our local hospitals and absolutely help them in every way. On top of all that, we have a school aid formula increase of $35 million that I want to put in. And I can say this, for the first time forevermore, we are beginning to absolutely grow enrollment. The school aid situation is really designed for first grade aides to first grade teachers, and I think the exact amount is probably $37 million. And we'll start there. We need our kids to be better educated. There's no question whatsoever about that. I salute, you know, our speaker, you know, because he campaigned this effort and he thought this effort was really good. And so do I. The other thing I want to do is just this. I want all of us in here, I mean, all of us can leave here and go to Wendy's and hang out. We can. Baby Dog would love that. And absolutely, but if you'll just step back and just think about it, the one thing that we should absolutely do, especially with us doing how well we're doing right now, is put a stake in the sand to some way say, we're going to stop hunger in West Virginia. Now we need to do it. I've got to tell you just this, but I want to offer up for us to do the $1 million again to our big food banks, but I want to do one step more. Absolutely, right behind that, there was a fellow that was my uncle, and I never would have thought of this in a million years, but I just did the other day. He was 94 years old and died about 6 months ago, maybe 8 months ago now. And I did the eulogy at the funeral. He was one of 10 kids on my mom's side. At one time, of course, they never had indoor plumbing at my grandparents' house that I went to every time. His name was Posey Perry. And literally, he was such an unassuming guy, a Christian beyond belief. That's all there is to it. So many people looked up to Posey Perry. Well, he died. But you know what he did? He worked in the coal mines his whole life. And then when he retired from the coal mines, he went to the food bank nearly every single solitary day. I want us to set aside $10 million in the Posey Perry Emergency Food Bank Fund, where all of our pantries or whomever it may be can draw on that. And if at the end of the year we end up with $4 million, next year we'll put 6. If we drain it to next year, I would propose you put back 10. Absolutely, that's what we need to do. We need to try with all in us to say, by God, we're not going to have hungry people in West Virginia today. I am proposing with our ARPA dollars that have been sitting there a long time, I'm proposing with those dollars that are a total of $677 million, that we do with those dollars 2 things. We put $500 million of those dollars aside for the Economic Enhancement or Impact Fund. We have now, and you see the fruits, you see them. I mean, we have now gotten to the place in time in West Virginia where we're competing. We're competing with others. You see, we couldn't ever do it before, could we? We couldn't ever do it. But now we can compete. And now they want to come. And now we've got it going. And those ARPA dollars, to me, $500 million goes there, 177 go into a fund that Ann Erling has done marvelous work with for our water and sewer projects, and we keep them going on and on and on. That's my proposal in regard to that. In regard to education, you know, like I said, we got rid of testing, unnecessary testing, and grades A through F stuff and all that. We now have programs that are out there like, you know, Grow Your Own Pathway, and we're making some inroads here and there. There's a lot of good stuff going on in the classrooms. But absolutely, without any question, we need to do one thing for absolute certain. We must ensure that schools have the responsibility to the students and the parents and not to a bunch of special interest groups. I believe that with all my soul. All of our parents deserve to know exactly what's going on in the classroom. Without any question, our parents have always known what the best is for their kids. Tonight, I am proposing a bill to direct school systems to make all curriculum taught be available online where we can see every single thing that's being put into our little kids' heads. Now, we have to make our schools safer, don't we? We've got school safety officer programs and everything, and we're trying. We've got to absolutely step up in any and every way we possibly can to try to absolutely everybody be vigilant in every way. A tragedy like we've seen many, many times across this country could happen tomorrow in West Virginia. But absolutely with all in us, we have done everything that I know we can do, but we need to still do much more to ensure that absolutely our kids, when they come to school, they feel safe and they feel happy. Absolutely, to keep competing and to keep working on all this, I am absolutely proposing also the fourth time. Now, many of you may think, well, gosh, why do we need to keep doing this and everything? But really, when it really boils down to it, we've got to be able to compete. I am proposing for the fourth time a 5% pay raise to every one of our state workers. We can afford to do this. And absolutely, I think it gives us the opportunity to attract better and better and better. At the same time, our PEIA fund is going to get upside down and get upside down real quick. I want to put $100 million back into our PEIA fund and give every state worker a 5% pay raise. Y'all got to quit this clapping. Y'all got to settle down on the clapping. Let me tell you about Hope Scholarship just one second. Hope Scholarship, and thank you guys. Thank you guys for standing up for Hope Scholarship. Hope Scholarship gives choice. We should have choice. There's no question we should have choice. And as it continues to grow, why in the world do we need to hit these brick walls? You know, what I want to do is bucket $15 million for thousands of families that can absolutely select choice and take advantage of the Hope Scholarship. You know. Okay, now don't y'all get up. Okay. I want to put $75 million in higher ed to work on deferred maintenance. We've let it go too long. Our buildings are about to fall down. Many, many, many situations. We've got to do something to help there. A bunch of you, the majority undoubtedly here, a bunch of you, as I, were so thankful by the reversal of how Roe v. Wade was overturned. I promised you, and you did your job. You did your job. You absolutely vetted, took your time. You absolutely finally brought me a bill. I promised you the very second you brought me a bill, I'd sign it. I did exactly that. And I did that very proudly. And I would tell you, and I don't tell you this to grandstand because I don't believe in that in any way. As long as I'm your governor, I'm going to stand with life, period. Additionally, I'm proposing that we take care of the moms. This could very well expand. But I am proposing a $1 million that's going to go into the child pregnancy centers. It'll make things better and make things safer and will help us in many ways there as well. Y'all won't quit. Okay. You know, we came up with the nursing program, the Governor's Nursing Workforce Expansion Initiative. We put $48 million in it. At one point in time during the COVID situation, we had 2,000 beds in this state that we couldn't staff. Think about it. 2,000 beds that we couldn't staff. Probably we lost a bunch of people because of it. We had to do something. We started this initiative, and it has absolutely knocked it out of the park. It is absolutely amazing what's going on. And we are absolutely on the threshold of being able to pump out nurses and bring so much more goodness to West Virginia, it's unbelievable. I'll be asking you that we take an additional $20 million to keep this super program really going, and a special, special thanks to all the schools that are making all that happen. Thank you so much. The EMS situation is the same thing. We put $10 million, actually $11 million in it. We were struggling like crazy to find an EMS. We couldn't find anybody to go to work. Think about this story, and I'll read this very quickly. This is a story from a fellow, and his name is Darren Crozier. He works in the Kanawha County EMT. Now think about it. He says, I'm so thankful to be a part of something like this, to see tax dollars for the betterment of West Virginians. We do this because we love West Virginia and we love our communities. This training has helped me in so many ways. It gave me a career and great health benefits for myself, my wife, and my 3 children. This has been very rewarding, and it taught me that I could learn again. Unbelievable. Really and truly. I am proposing that we put $10 million into this fund and keep this thing going. We have 2 wonderful people with us. We have our Teacher of the Year and our Service Personnel of the Year, Amber Nichols, and I guess it's Jessice Gross, if they're here with us. And where are they? Look at them. There they go. They're from Eastwood Elementary in Morgantown and Hodgesville Elementary in Upshur County. Very good, guys. I got to say something about this little lady sitting over here, our First Lady. Started Communities in Schools. We started it really in 3 counties. Berkeley, McDowell, and Wyoming counties. It started out in 9 schools and had 4,000 kids. Think about it. Today, they're in 38 counties, 208 schools, and they're touching 91,000 kids. Now, I'm telling you this, and you can believe it or not believe it. I don't blow smoke at anybody. Not at my daughter, not at my wife, not at you, not at anybody. I don't have time to do it. All I know to do is tell the truth as best I can possibly do it. I'm in the schools a lot, and I'm in the schools a lot. I coach, and I'm proud of it. I've been in the schools forevermore, and I'm telling you, and you can say what you want, I've never seen a program that works any better. It is unbelievable. You know, I want to read you this just very quickly, but a 17-year-old from Wheeling Park. This is her first year. This is the first year of the program in Ohio County. The site coordinator, noticed some irregular type things going on with this kid. Found out that this kid was taking care of her granddad, a veteran. Literally, they got involved from the community side, is exactly what Communities in Schools does. They got involved, and they were able to get the veteran benefits. They were able to help the kid, and the kid is doing really, 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 really well. Now, one other thing that they've done is they absolutely started this initiative with therapy dogs. I got to tell you this. Tonight there's a lady with her. Her name is Sarah Linger. She is the site coordinator from Lewis County High School, and she has with her one of the therapy dogs, and baby dog is major jealous right now. But Sarah, if you would stand, and absolutely I've got to, please, Sarah. Let me just read this to you just one second. Jasper does an outstanding job with students and with their emotions. He goes on to say, once a student was very worked up and struggling, and after spending a few minutes with Jasper, and we all know that dogs will do this, absolutely, as the student calmed down, the student's doing better every day in school. Now get this, at Pineville Elementary School, there's a dog there that's one of the therapy dogs. His name's River. And there's a student there that's severely handicapped and for all practical purposes nonverbal. Now think about it. And this one I'm gonna have to go real slow because I'll get big tears in my eyes about this because honest to Pete, I love kids. It says when asked, how did you like River? The student that was partially or for all practical purposes nonverbal, the student exclaimed, best day ever. So Kathy, thanks, and all I can say is just keep it up. We got lots and lots more dogs that are going. These dogs are expensive and everything, but there's lots of good stuff, lots and lots. We want all 55 counties, and I think Kathy's on a pathway that's going to happen and happen really, really soon, probably within this year, and so lots of good stuff there. Let me jump to something that I've talked about before is drugs, and we all know it can cannibalize us. We've made a lot of really, really inroads, but we absolutely know we've still got lots to do. I can't say this any more bluntly because I don't know how to say it. If you look at what's going on at our southern border of this country, and you just think, why are we tolerating this? Why in the world are we continuing to allow drugs to flow all across this great country and thousands and thousands and thousands die? Why are we doing that? I just plain don't get it. But in West Virginia, just the other day, we had, through Homeland Security or some agency, I don't know exactly what it was, they seized some fentanyl and that just small amounts, which was like 6 ounces, could have been enough for a lethal dose for 90,000 people of West Virginia. I don't know why in the world we continue on. It's a big problem. We should absolutely continue to support and to try to help in every way. Our programs like Jobs and Hope or whatever it may be. But we should absolutely know we've got to all be in this. Every last one of you has been touched by a terrible situation with drugs. It hurts our state. It hurts our employment. It hurts us in every way. And I wish to God above we had some real life help, from D.C. in regard to this. In regard to corrections, we have many, many vacancies. The last go-around, you came really close on locality pay. Some of our bordering counties, we have a 70% vacancy. You got to address that. Please address the locality pay because we have we have an obligation to take care of our prisoners, and we're going to awaken to something not very good there if we don't watch out. DHHR, a hot button right now. That's all there is to it. You know, you asked me to make it better. And absolutely, I have brought in a team like you can't imagine. I could go into all kinds of specifics with you tonight. But I can tell you that if you believed in what we did in COVID with Dr. Marsh and General Hoyer and literally now Dr. Coben, if you believe that, there's lots that we got to do. I want to listen to every one of your ideas. I want them to listen to your ideas. We all can do one thing if we will do it. We can make it better. It didn't get in this mess over the last couple of years. This is a culmination of a problem that's been there many, 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 many decades. We can make it better. We need to listen to your ideas. You need to listen to ours. You need to absolutely bounce ideas off of Dr. Marsh and General Hoyer and Jeff Coben. Absolutely, I am as open-minded as one could ever be. I've got to tell you just this, though. Welch Hospital in McDowell County. And many of you have probably never been to Welch Hospital. And I've been there many times. Welch Hospital is kind of in an area of the world that got left way, 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 way behind. If I'm right about this, I think at one time McDowell County had 110,000 people in it. And now I think they've got less than 10. That hospital and everything has surely been tough going for everybody. That's all there is to it. It's been a drain on the state. It's been a drain on the county. It's been a drain in many, many directions. Through the great work, again, of Clay Marsh, General Hoyer, Jeff Coben, they have now, today, the McDowell County Commission took over the Welch Hospital, and WVU is going to take over the Welch Hospital and bring to the coal fields down there absolutely a shining light. We've got it off our backs, and this is an absolute accomplishment by those guys that could not have happened without those guys. Please give them a big round of applause because they've worked really hard. Let me tell you this. We have with us tonight one of our CPS workers. And absolutely, her name is Amy Stevens. Amy's been with DHHR for 8 years now. She's got a story that's really neat. She walked in, she was a single mom. Walked into DHHR probably to sign up for benefits. And found out the people that she was working with there, she liked them and everything was all good. And lo and behold, one thing led to another, and then all of a sudden she got off in trying to branch out into a new career, a social work. She became one of our CPS workers, and she's been at it for 8 years. And Jeff Pack, who was right with you not many years ago, oversees that for us. And Jeff reports that she is outstanding beyond belief. So where's Amy? If she's here with us, if she'd stand right there, she is. Please give her a big round of applause. Okay, we've still got lots to do. There's no question whatsoever. These are just isolated things, and there's so much to do. Please, remember what I said about the wisdom. Remember what I've said about the respect. Literally, let's work together with all of our ideas, and we'll solve it. We'll solve it, or we'll make it a heck of a lot better. Now, I would say just this. In this state, we've got plus or minus 1,000 foster kids, don't we? And a bunch of them don't have a home. We can go to Wendy's. And absolutely, Baby Dog can too. and we've got surpluses that are off the chart. I am challenging you right now. Find a way. Find a way to incentivize families to give these children a chance. A chance. They need it. Literally. I tell people all the time, if you're not doing this, you should. Take time to get involved some way in trying to help a kid. The giver is always the winner. You will not believe what it will do in transforming your life. These people need us, especially these wonderful kids. Now, if I could switch real quickly to just this, our National Guard. Think about this. 250 in 2022 were overseas. 550 worked in the COVID response. 350 worked at 30 different hospitals. 300 worked in corrections. For God's sakes a living, they were even fighting fires. And then, of all things, they took helicopters when Andy Brashear called me and said, will you come and help? And I said, you dadgum right, we'll come. We'll bring the best of the best. And they went there and saved people's lives in those terrible floods in Kentucky. Please give our great National Guard an incredible round of applause. I'm going to get you up again right now. I'm sorry, but not really. Our veterans, and you just think what they've given us. And we lost an absolute American hero beyond belief not long ago in Woody Williams. For those of you that didn't have the opportunity to be with him, you really missed something. He was unflat believable. That's all there is to it. He could have sat here right here tonight and delivered this 10 times better than I could. Absolutely somebody that believed in his heart, a Medal of Honor recipient. Absolutely somebody that believed in his heart to continue to do more and more and more for our Gold Star families. And it continues on right now. And tonight, Tracy Ross, Woody's daughter, and Brian Casey, Woody's grandson, are with us, and I don't know where they are either. Please, American hero, a hero beyond belief. Okay. We're starting a program with not too much money. I think $500,000, and we'll start with 100 and see where it takes us. We're starting a program called Welcome Home Program, where we're going to have a $5,000 incentive to any veteran that wants to move back into West Virginia. Really, with what all's going on right now, if we can get this PIT thing done, we're going to get every veteran that wants to come, and we'll get veterans beyond belief and take absolutely their expertise and knowledge and make us all better. So this program is absolutely, I'm proposing that we do this program one time and see what the results are, and then I hope and pray we'll be able to expand it. So please, wait just one second. Before when you stand this time, stretch just a little bit, because this is the 7th inning and I'm winding down. So okay. Here's the one you stand and stretch a little bit on. Delegate Hornbuckle came to me the other day, and Dr. Alan Leader. They want to do something at Marshall University, and again, the size of the magnitude of this compared to all that's going on, surely we've got to step up in the African American community and try to help What in the world is wrong with us to not step up? They want $1 million to go to Marshall University to be able to start the Center for Economic and Community Development in the African American community of Appalachia. So please, I don't know that they're with us and everything. Well, I know Sean is somewhere, but nevertheless, Sean, if you'd stand, we'll give you a great big round of applause. Now, stretch just a second. Stretch, you're good. I've got to talk just about tourism and roads just a second. I mean, literally, whatever money you have, I don't care what it is, put it in tourism. It doesn't matter what it is. Whatever money you got, put it in tourism. You will instantaneously get a return on that money like you can't imagine. That's all there is to it. It's happening everywhere, all around us. Imagine these numbers. Imagine them. Last year, travelers in West Virginia spent $5 billion. $5 billion. Travel guides all over the place are saying, come to West Virginia. There's so much goodness going on in our parks and everywhere else under the sun. I could go on forever and ever and a day. You know, we spent $150 million upgrading our parks, and you can't even get a place in our park because they're all sold out for all practical purposes. They show us off. They make the world see just how good we really are. You remember back in the beginning, I told you about image. It is so important. Literally, we know how good we are, but the world didn't know. And they absolutely know now. They're getting it. I want to talk just a second about roads. Imagine this, in 2022, we did 115,745 miles of work. Think about that. Think about it. In the last 4 years, we've done 364,500 miles of work in West Virginia. Our roads got in really bad shape. And you can say what you want, but not very many years back, I said, for God's sakes of living, we can't even go to the convenience store because we tear our car all to pieces going to the convenience store. And today, just think, the Nitro World War I Memorial Bridge is on its way. The Beckley Bluestone travel plazas are on their way. All the Wheeling bridges are, for all practical purposes, done. The streets in Wheeling are getting done. The Coalfield Expressway is making unbelievable inroads. Quarter H is absolutely on a path to be done. And many, 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 many more. There's lots and lots and lots of goodness in many places. There's a fund to IIJA. I commend Harold Ward and Jimmy Riston for tapping into this. Harold did something that was first in the nation to deploy the IIJA funding for oil and gas plugging, $25 million, and abandoned mine lands for $145 million. Harold's not with us tonight, but you can give him a big round of applause too. Jimmy's watching after this and taking full advantage of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, and there will be billions of dollars flowing into West Virginia. Now, we're on the home stretch now. You won't have to listen to me very much longer. Yeah, the pandemic was really tough, wasn't it? No playbook. Tough. Through all that and then everything, our labs, and I'm hoping and praying that we do this because no governor should face this again. Our labs have been on a burner, but then shoved to the back burner and shoved to the back burner and shoved to the back burner over and over and over. Big ticket item. Great big ticket item. If there's ever a time that we can build a new consolidated lab and bring them all under one roof and absolutely move into the century that we should be in instead of the dark ages. We need to do it. Now, I'll never forget Vernon. Vernon Christ, just the other day, he told me, he said, you know, our labs in many ways reminded him of having two Dixie cups and a string to be able to communicate. Absolutely, our labs can get us in a lot of trouble. And we need great labs to be able to respond. The price tag to put them all together, and that's the State Police Forensic and Crime Units, the Department of Agriculture, DHHR, the Office of the Chief of Medical Examiner, DEP, and Weights and Measures. The price tag, from what I know, is $250 million. I'm proposing that we quit kicking this down the road and put $125 million in this year, $125 million next year out of surplus, and get it done. From a standpoint of broadband, I want to just tell you just this. We announced a $1 billion program with the Senate, with the House, with all of y'all. A $1 billion program on broadband. We wanted to touch 200,000 homes and new businesses. For businesses, rather. I'm proud to announce now we've spent $548 million of that total investment so far. We're over halfway home. I know there's many of those dollars that still aren't hooking up people and everything because they're not done. But absolutely, I do believe by the time that I leave, we'll have absolutely surpassed the $1 billion. And that's good stuff. Now, I'm going to end with you on just this note. I'm going to end with you that your responsibilities and my responsibility is a daunting task. There's no question. I mean it when I tell you I love you with all my heart. Now, I'll argue with you, but I'll be respectful to you in any way and every way I possibly can be. You have not only a daunting task, but you have a daunting opportunity right now like nobody's business. You got to listen to me, and you got to trust me on this. The one thing I've done, I've run many businesses. I've created thousands and thousands of jobs. I can tell you opportunity flashes in your face, and if you don't grab it, the door closes. It's just as simple as that. I would always remember without any doubt, you're here for Toby and Edith. You are. All of you are. I am. In every way. You're here for our children. You're here for our seniors. You're here for our new and old residents and our new and old businesses as well. You're here for all the generations to come. I mean this so profoundly, I couldn't possibly say it any better than just this. God bless each and every one of you for all you do. You give. You're away from your families. You're here 60 days. You work all the time. But what you're compensated is next to nothing for what you give. And you should be loved and you should be appreciated for it. I would say in ending, for all of us, God bless this incredible state of West Virginia. It is so wonderful. It is off the chart. And God bless this incredible country. Thank you so much for having me. And God bless all of you. Thank you.